Alright, first and foremost, I want to give all honors and praises and glory belongs to my Lord and Savior, whose name is Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahabashai, Bahasham, Waharakah Kodash, and honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone and those of you that are in the spirit, and to the hopeful elect across the globe, and to the few, the very few brothers and sisters that are listening and are also learning across the globe and that are what? Keeping the faith. That's what this lesson is going to be based on. Okay, I didn't quite know what I was going to call this lesson, but Yahweh knew those that believed. He knew. Okay, I want to go to John 2 and 24. He knew those that believed and those that did not believe. Let's go to John 2 and 24. This was John 2 and 23. Now when he was in Jerusalem at the Passover in the feast day, many believed in his name. So there was many that believed. But you're always going to have those that don't truly believe. Okay? In his name, and when they saw the miracles, which he did, but some of them needed to see the miracles, which nothing is wrong with that, because you have different levels of faith in this truth. Not every brother's faith is going to be the same. Okay? Verse 24. But Yahushua did not commit himself unto them. Okay? Because you have our people that, no matter how many miracles and how many things are done, or even if they get healed, there were certain people that were healed, Yahweh told them to go their way. Okay? And not all of them were of the elect. But Yahweh did not commit himself unto them because he knew all men. Why? Because the elect were already set up. That's why when he looked for the disciples, Peter, Simon, which is known as nickname what, son of Jonas, Andrew, he knew who they were. He committed himself unto those men because he knew who they were. He committed himself unto Thomas. And Thomas was known for being very, very doubtful. But Thomas was of the elect. Thomas is of the elect. But his little doubt that he had, who fixed that? It was Yahweh. Okay, so if you're that type of individual that has a very doubtful mind, and you're of the elect, Yahweh will what? Build you up. Through what? Faith. But there's a difference. Okay, but it says he did not commit himself unto all men. Okay, because he knew all, because he knew all men. He knew what was inside of them. That's called discernment. That's called spiritual power. And when you go into that word committe, together, give entirely to a specific person. So he did not commit. He didn't give himself wholeheartedly to every Israelite, or cause to dedicate, to give, to devote. So he never devoted himself to all of Israel. Did he die for all of Israel? Yes, but he never devoted himself to all of Israel when he was on the scene. To make an investment, so Yahweh, he's investing in some men. He's helping them to commit, to confer, to trust upon, to entrust, to engage and perform. So this is what I'm talking about. There's a relationship. Men, they get offended. So there's men on the earth today that Yahweh has a personal, and guess what? Every member of the elect he's dealing with. Yes, 1-to-1. Because if that was not the case, then guess what? That means you wouldn't have no faith. That's why these things are so important. To read these scriptures, to look up these words and get a good understanding of what we're involved in. And needed not that any should testify of man, for he knew what was in man. So he didn't need anybody to say, or this or that. He knew from the get-go who believed and who did not believe. So our thing is what? Those of you that believe, our thing is to be concerned with those that believe. Not those that want to scoff, mock, preach for strife, vain glory. No, we're not here for them. Yahweh knew. Let's go to Romans 3 and 3. For what if some did not believe? This is Paul speaking. He said, for what if some did not believe? So what? You don't believe. Is that going to change anything? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? The answer is no. It's not gonna change a thing because you don't believe. Or because you don't believe, does that mean I should not believe? Okay. It's not gonna change anything. It's not gonna change the faith of the. It's not gonna make the faith of the Most High without effect. Effect is what a cause. So these prophecies are still gonna happen. The mark of the beast. Okay, World War III, and Yahweh has come to crack these clouds, and he's gonna give these men spiritual powers. So because the individual doesn't believe, it doesn't mean these things are not going to happen. That just means you don't believe. And that's it. Verse 4. Most High forbids. Yeah, let the Most High be true. And that's where that's that trust. Because you know Yahweh is true. But every man a liar. Because man can change. As it is written, thou mightest be justified in thy sayings. And if you stick to these sayings, you're going to be justified in these sayings. Because you stick to it. You believe. And mightest overcome when thou art judged. Why? Because you believed. Those that don't believe, they're not going to overcome. They're not going to be justified. Okay, that's the importance of belief. I want to make sure, brothers and sisters that are listening and learning, when you're teaching, when you're reading these scriptures, that you actually believe what you're reading. Not just reading, putting the Bible back down and go about your everyday life. You actually believe what you're reading. Everything. Do you believe that the Egyptians were drowned in the Red Sea? Do you believe that? Do you believe the story of Noah when he was building the ark? Do you believe that? That's faith. That's faith. Do you believe America's going to be destroyed by a family and nuclear destruction? If you believe that, that's faith. Do you believe there's angels encamped around you, protecting you? You believe that? That's faith. You looking up into the heavens saying, that's a chariot? That's faith. You believe that's a chariot. A lot of men, they make this more difficult than it is. Okay. So let's go to examples. Okay. So let's go to Matthew 8 and 10. Abakasha. Quickly grab Matthew 8 and 10. And you could, there's only so much you can do. You brothers, you came into the truth with another brother you may be cool with, or you can't have a respect of persons. If a man's constantly showing that he does not believe, he does not really believe, which the signs will be there. You can't look. You try to help him, but you gotta let that man go, because he's just gonna bring you down. So this is how it is, and I'm speaking from experience. If an individual does not believe, you have to just leave him alone. Especially if he's been in the truth for some time and he's exhibiting traits of an unbeliever. You can pray for him. Obviously, you pray for him and all that, but if nothing's changed, you just gotta leave it. Let's go to Matthew. Be concerned with those that believe. Matthew 8. Okay. And guess what? Even those that have done a good deeds to a prophet, they're going to be saved. They're going to be saved. So you can't count them out. Okay. And there was a reason why they done a good deed to a prophet. Because they believed you were what? A prophet, a man and Lord. Matthew 8. And let's go straight to, I want to go into this centurion that was here. This is Matthew 8. Let's go straight to start at 5. And when Yahweh was entered into Capernaum, if I'm saying it, Capernaum, there came unto him a centurion, okay, besieging him. And this centurion, what? He was in charge of a lot of men, which is what? An army, okay, and saying, Lord, okay, which would be likened unto what? A lieutenant. And saying, Lord, my servant, Lord Yahweh, my servant, lieth at home sick of palsy. Okay, illness, grievously tormented. Okay, it's known today as what? Cerebral palsy. Okay, grievously tormented. Bear me just a minute. Bear me just a minute. And when you go into that word palsy, it's what? A paralyzing of what? Body parts. Loss of ability to speak, failure of a part of body to function properly. So that's palsy, Latin from paralyza. Paralyza. Another word, disabled. Okay. Loss of ability to move a body part. Okay. So that was what Paul was grievously tormented. And Yahweh said unto him, I will come and heal him. And Centurion answered and said, Lord, I am not worthy that thou should come under my roof. Such humility, but speak the word only, and my servant shall be healed. What great faith. Just speak the word only. For I am a man under authority, having soldiers under me. So guess what? They actually had something in common, because Yahushua was a man of authority and he had men under him as well. So you can imagine they had things in common. Okay, and say to this man, go, and he goeth, and to another, come, and he cometh, to my servant, do this, and he doeth it. When Yahushua heard it, he marveled. Okay, he marveled at that, and said to them that followed, verily I say unto you, I have not found so great faith, no, not in Israel. So this was a great example of faith. Great example. Okay, and what did the man say? Just come. Wait just a minute. What did the man say? Just speak the word only. So there was no doubt. There was no doubt in that. Just speak the words. This man was assured. This man knew who Yahushua was. Just speak the word and it's done. No second guessing. No triple guessing. No second guessing yourself. He knew. Okay? He knew. This was Yahushua. Just speak the word and I know my servant's going to be healed. And from on what? He was healed from on that time forward. The man was healed. And I say unto you that many shall come from the east and the west and shall sit down with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven, which would be who? The elect. But the children of the kingdom shall be cast out into the darkness, outer darkness, the wicked. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Those that don't believe, those that don't have faith. And Yahweh says unto the centurion, go thy way. And as thou hast believed, so be it done unto thee. And his servant was healed in that same hour. So the servant was healed in that same hour. What great faith! This is the type of faith. Look, these are examples. Yahweh, just believe. But we know not all of our people are going to have that faith. And it's even worse when you come into the truth and you're not exhibiting that faith. We're going to have low moments. But even in them low moments, Yahweh is saying, are you still striving? Are you still striving for perfection? Are you still going? Are you just going to give up? Go to Hebrews, bear me just a minute. Go to Hebrews 11. Before we go to Hebrews 11, bear me just a minute. Let's go to, I think it's Titus. This is Titus 1 and 9. And it says, holding fast the faithful word as ye have been taught. So this is about, once we have this word, holding on to it, grasping it, that you may be able by sound doctrine, the true doctrine, both to exhort and convince the gainsayers. Because you're going to have, you're even going to have gainsayers that are going to be convinced, and they're going to wake up, and they're going to be of the elect. Okay? So that's what we're here to do. Teach His word. And even within the gainsayers, you never know, pre-adventure, they end up believing. Okay, let's go to Hebrews 11 and 6. Before we go to that, bear me just a minute. Again, more examples. Let's go to Mark 19. Oh man. You say you have faith. Well, guess what? Faith is going to be tested. You have faith. Well, you're just going to test your faith. See if do you really believe? Are you just an actor? Someone that just knows how to turn up. Mark 9. I'm gonna go straight to 15 and straightway all the people, when they beheld him, were greatly amazed, and ran into him, saluted him. Speaking of Yahushua, and he asked the scribes, and what question ye with them? And one of the multitude answered and said, Master, I have brought unto thee my son, which have a dumb spirit. In other words, he could not talk. Okay. And whereof he taketh him, whithersoever he taketh him, so it's a spirit, a dumb spirit is a demon, whithersoever he taketh him, he teareth him. That spirit was tearing him up, similar to legion, and he foameth and gnasheth with his teeth. Okay. In other words, like psychopath. Then we get the word lunar. He was a lunatic. Okay. and pineth away, and I spake to thy disciples that they should cast him out, and they could not. So even said, even within the disciples, they could not cast him out, because there's even in this truth, there's even levels to particular demons. Okay, and he answered him and saith, "O faithless generation." So there was times where Yahushua would get fed up, because that was his whole point when he was up on the earth, to teach his disciples, raise them up, to show them what? Examples of faith. How long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring him unto me. So Yahushua was upset because he was teaching the disciples these things. Okay. And they brought him unto him. And when he saw him, straightway the spirit tear him, and he fell on the ground and wallowed foaming. So it said when he saw him. So when them spirits, because them spirits know who the elect are, so when them spirits saw Yahushua, they started foaming. They started to tear. Okay. You can imagine that. Convulsing. Okay. And he asked his father, how long is this it ago since this came unto him? And he said, of a child. So this demon was tormenting him from a child. And oftentimes he cast him into the fire and into the waters. Okay. That's that mental imbalance. To destroy him. But if thou canst do anything, have compassion on us and help us. Yahushua said unto him, if thou canst believe, all things are possible. See, if you believe all things are possible, not some, not if, but maybe, all things are possible to him that believeth. And straightway the father of the Lord of the child cried and said with tears, Lord Yahushua, I believe. Help thou my unbelief. So he did believe, but he was saying help it because it was weak. Okay. When Yahushua saw that the people came running together, he rebuked the foul spirit, saying unto him, thou dumb and deaf spirit, I charge you, come out of him, and enter no more into him. And the spirit cried and rent him sore. He was beating him. Okay, he was convulsing and came out of him, and he was as one dead, inasmuch that many said, he is dead. But Yahushua took him by the hand and lifted him up, and he arose. And when he was coming to the house, his disciples asked him privately, why could we not cast him out? Does this mean the disciples were not men of the Lord? No, they were men of the Lord. Okay, but there was a level of faith they needed to have. And he said unto them, this kind can come, this kind can come forth by nothing but prayer and fasting. So there's even levels to demons in the street. There's even levels to belief. There's even levels to faith. So if you have faith, it can either be increased or it can decrease. And that's why prayer is so important. All these things are so important. Okay? But the man admitted, yeah, he believed. But he said, help it. Strengthen my belief. So that's even a prayer. To be strengthened. Okay? Plenty of examples. Another thing in Job. Remember what happened to Job? All those things that happened. And this is one of Job's friends speaking to him, because there's a whole chapter of his friends giving him all types of words, advice. And a lot of that talk also goes into prophecy as well. If we are say to commune with thee, would I be grieved? Okay, took with thee. In other words, is it alright if we took with thee? Are you going to be too grieved? Can we say a few words? But who can withhold himself from speaking? Behold, thou has instructed many. So you were telling many what to do. You were teaching them the scriptures. And thou hast strengthened the weak hands. You were strengthening other men. You were telling them to have faith. You were telling them not to faint. Okay? You were telling them all these good things. Thy words have upholding him that was fallen. So you've helped other people. Even people in the world may hear some people in the world may hear your words, and it may help them. They really may feel motivated. And thou hast strengthened the feeble knees, but now it is come upon thee. Because every one of us have tried. And thou faintest. It toucheth thee, and thou art troubled. Is not this thy fear, thy confidence, thy hope, which is Yahushua, and uprightness of thy ways? So his friend was Job. This is Job's friend telling him, you were strengthening people, you were upholding people, but now that situation's come upon you, the same thing you were talking about. Now you're fainting. Now you're weak. How does that look? It's not the best look, is it? You're telling others to have faith, be strong, do this, and when situations present themselves, you're not showing them. It's not the best of looks. Okay, that's why the scripture took examining ourselves. Yahushua wants his men to have faith. So if you're talking about faith, if you're a believer, you better be showing you believe. Can't talk all this stuff. You think you're just going to be out on the highways and byways, teach this word, and your faith ain't going to be tested. Better think again. Shut up on this. Hebrews 11:6, but without faith it is impossible to please him. So faith is the main ingredient. Faith is the main substance, which is lacking in this world. For he that cometh to the Most High must believe that he is. Do you believe that Yahushua is the Son of the Most High? And he that is a rewarder of them that diligently. So he's going to reward those that diligently seek him. Diligently. And with you diligently seeking him, so like I'm getting tongue-tied, with you diligently seeking him, what's that a sign of? That you believe, because if you didn't, then you wouldn't be seeking him. You wouldn't care. You understand what I'm saying? So with this lesson, Lord willing, this was edifying, and until the next time, Shalom.